Welcome back to my 1949 Willys pickup project. With the work on the cab well underway, I want to turn my attention now to the doors. Now these are the doors that came with the truck, and they weren't the original doors, they were replacements. So I thought probably decent shape, and they look pretty good from a distance, but let's move in and take a closer look. Up top, they both look really nice. There was no glass in them, but they look pretty good. And the closer we get to the bottom, just like most doors, we start to see rust. And I can tell you on this door, that rust is all the way through. And if we move over to the driver's side, I don't have to point it out, you can see it. They're in pretty tough shape on the bottom. Let's flip them around. Okay, this is the passenger side door. That glass is all busted out of that, but looks like the insides to this window are still there and in decent shape. But now you can see it's not just the outside panel, it's everything as it wraps up. We've actually got holes all the way up to here on this one. And as we move to the driver's side, it's way, way worse. And if we come up here, this window, I guess the window base is actually rotted through, so I can't even use that. So I decided instead of messing around with those doors, I would see if I could find replacements that are better. So I went to French Lake Auto and I found passenger and a driver's door. The passenger door is really nice. It doesn't really need much work. There's some dents that I need to fix, but that's actually got complete glass in it and everything. Unfortunately, the driver's door is already missing on that vehicle. So I grabbed this one. It was the best of what was out there. And you can see this one too has got some rust, but nowhere near as bad as my original doors. And I do have all of the hardware. I've already started to disassemble this. This one will need at least a window, but I've got all the other goodies for that. So the passenger's door, as I said, it's in really nice shape. I got one little ding here that I need to fix. That's not a big deal. But the mechanisms look real nice inside. And I took a minute with a wire wheel and cleaned this up. And the bottom of this looks great. It really doesn't need anything, but I got a few little holes in here that I could touch up if I feel like it. But that one looks really nice. This one, I already pulled the window out of it, but all this mechanism and hardware in here is really good. The rest of the door looks pretty nice up here. And just the bottom is where all the work needs to be done. So in addition to the outer skin, it looks like the inner bottom is rusted through right here. So this is where I'm going to spend my time. I'm going to get this all taken care of. I'll have to put some new metal in there. So let's get going on that. All right, so here's my game plan. I'm going to start my work on the inside. And it's kind of important to try to maintain some of the shape in this. I don't know if you can see it. If we come out here, you can see this door has got a little bit of a bow. It kind of curves out through the middle there. So I have to make sure when I do this work that I don't end up just making a flat panel and then not being able to follow the curve of the rocker. So what I want to do is I see this edge right here that runs along there. That should set the shape I want to replace this piece right here. And this piece has got some bends in it. It comes down and then it curves and goes down, and then it flattens out and it comes out. And the way these doors are put together is that basically the outer skin is folded over the top of the inside of the door structure. So I'm going to start by trying to open this up, unfold this bottom piece, but I want to leave it in place. And the main reason for that is so that I know how to fit this first. So I want to make this whole piece, get it fit in here. And when I'm done with all of that, then I'll turn my attention to the outer skin. So I've been working on this for a little bit with some thin chisels, a couple of screwdrivers and a hammer, and a duckbill vice grip. It's not going very well, which is fine. I think what I'm going to do is something a little different I've seen done before. I may just take a grinder and just run all along this edge and just grind right through this so I can pop this off. But before I do that, I'm going to take some measurements so I know on each end here where this is supposed to land. That way I should have the right measurements when I go to put it back on, or when I go to put my patch on. Okay, that worked really good. So I've got this inner skin off now. I'm going to leave these corners because this actually is, this looks okay. Well, not going to mess that corner's going. But I'm going to leave this one here, and that's going to give me a little bit of a reference point. What I've done is marked a line all the way along here, and basically I can leave good metal there. And I'm actually a little bit below this curve, so I preserve all the structure that's in there right now, and I'm going to need that too for reference. So next thing I'll do is just cut all along here and get this piece off. All right, this actually looks okay on the inside on this panel. I see plenty of thickness in this steel. The only place, get some focus here. It's a little blurry, but the only place that it's thin is right here. And I think I can get away with that. I think I got a little ahead of myself. As I usually like to do, I grabbed a piece of sheet metal, cut it out of the old truck side, and this is the back side. I didn't really get too fussy about it, but I cleaned up the front side, and I thought, well, I'll go ahead and put a bend in, and that bend is basically the piece that starts right there. But it didn't dawn on me until I was done making the bend that this makes for a flat panel, and this door has got a little bit of a belly to it right here. Let me show you on the other door what I'm talking about. All right, this is my good door, and I'm glad I have this one for reference, so I can use it to take my measurements. If I just set this right here, I don't know how clear this is going to be on camera, but I'm touching here and here, and I've got a gap in the middle. It looks like it's about 3/8 at the deepest point. And I don't have a shrinker, so I can't take that panel and get a bend in it. So I'm going to do what I've been doing for a whole bunch of these, and I have to cut it into 3 pieces so that I can put the correct bend on these, just weld them up. But we're going to start by creating, we basically need 3 surfaces. There's this top one that goes here, then there's a vertical, I'll call this my vertical, and then another horizontal here down on the bottom. So I'm going to make this vertical piece because that's what's going to set the curve, and I'll do that by just tracing and following this curve on this piece of metal here. I just need to hold this pen steady. All right, so now I've got a line that follows that curve. It raised up a little bit here because of this, this little weep hole. I'll end up just kind of cutting that straight. But that's my first cut. This is the first piece now that I've cut. It's going to be out here somewhere, but if I bring it in just to kind of follow that, I think I've got the curve right on it. And it looks straight from a distance. And if I hold it up against even the bottom of the door, you can see we've got a sweep. That's exactly what I need. Let's double check this against this rocker, because this rocker is the same thing. It's got the sweep. That's why we're doing this. So if I hold that up to the rocker, it looks right. It's got the same bend in it that the rocker does. Got my bottom piece cut out. That's going to lay in right there. Next thing I want to do is take my vertical, I'm calling it the vertical piece, but I'm going to take that and weld it in right here. In order to get that positioned, I'll use some magnets to get it lined up and locked in, then I can tack it in. Just like that. Got this piece tack welded together. So I've got it just clamped in roughly where I want it to go. And really for this inner panel, the last thing I need to do is just make this filler piece right here, which is again just a flat piece that I'll weld right in there. Got it all welded up. Well, I should say tacked together here. And if you take a look down the long way, you can see it's got the right curve in it. Let's just lay it in there and see how it fits. Okay, that's good. That's going to work. Now I just need to fully weld this. Okay, we're all welded up. It's as good as it needs to be down here on the bottom. And then I just bent these pieces over and welded them to cap that. So this side is completely done, ready to be welded. And then on this side, I just need to make one little piece that bridges in here. And then I can weld that in. Okay, we're all done welding on this patch. I put that corner piece on in advance All that's left now is just to lay this in, get it lined up properly, and get it welded up to the bottom of that door. Okay, we're all welded in. It's not the prettiest, and I'm not going to be real fussy about this. I just want it nice and solid. It's down in an area that's kind of hidden. But the inner part is done now, and I can turn my attention to the outer skin. The outer door skin is actually pretty straightforward now. It's just a flat panel. I've marked a line here up high enough that I'm past all of the rust. Down here I can just see a little bit bubbling through, but it's over in here where it gets kind of bad, and especially down in this corner. So we're just going to take the whole bottom off, and then we'll kick up into here. All right, that's off. I just have to make something like this to go in here. Nice thing about doing it this way is I didn't have to pre-treat the inside of this. I can do it right now while this is off. So I'll clean this up and I'll get it sprayed down with some primer. I'm gonna do this in 3 pieces just to make it easy on myself. I'll start on this corner, and here's my rationale. These corner pieces have to be folded over 2 different ways, and so I've started here with my corner piece, and what I can do is fit that in there. I still have to do a little bit of trimming on this one to get it perfect, but it's easier for me to get these pieces in and then cut my middle piece, and I don't have to, on that big long piece, have 2 corners. Well, I'll really, 2 corners. I only have 1 corner to do when I do it this way. So that'll help me a little bit. You know the old saying, don't know where I'm going, but I'm really making good time. Kind of feel that way with this door right now. I think I'm doing this the easiest way anyway, by getting both of these corners on first. But this is a little bit of a struggle. I'm kind of working with limited tools on this. But I do have this lined up and in the right place. And the same on this one. So I think this last piece will actually go fairly easy. It's just a matter of getting it cut to length, getting a long bend on that. That's probably the hardest part, and just zapping it in. So I got this piece made up now. Still need to clean it up. I primed the back side because when this goes on, this will be folded in tight and I won't have a chance to get to it. So this is going to go right in here and get welded in. Okay, this piece is fit up now with the help of rubber mallet and a grinder. That gap is fine, I can weld that. So let's just tack this in. I noticed something while editing this video that I didn't realize I did while I was welding. I switched the screwdriver over to my right hand so that I could get that edge leveled up before I welded, and I welded with my left hand. Not trying to brag, but I didn't know I could do that. I think it was Yogi Berra who said I'd give my right arm to be ambidextrous. I've got it all tacked in now. And if I put the right angle on this, I think you'd see how ugly it is. But I'm going to weld it up, and I'm going to let body filler take care of all the imperfections. All right, we're done grinding, welding, grinding. I did a little bit of hammer dolly work just to straighten up some edges there. And the rest of this now, it's going to get body filler. There's just no way around that, but it looks a lot better than when I started. Just in case anybody was wondering, I did drill some drain holes in the bottom. I put 3 in. Hopefully I can maintain focus. There's one, they're 1/4 inch, so it shouldn't plug up. There's one up there, you might not be able to see it, but at least we won't be holding moisture. I mounted the door up just to see how things line up. And I'd put these doors on, I guess in the last video you would have seen that, just to get it all lined up, and then we pulled the doors off. So this, I haven't done any adjusting. I just kind of bolted it in place. It's actually looking pretty decent. But I wanted to see how this door bottom lines up. And if we look at it from this angle and just kind of look at the sweep, that's a pass. That looks pretty good. The gap on the bottom, it looks like it kind of comes up a little bit and back down. So that's probably me. But that kind of thing I think I can easily live with. So that's the end of the work right now, at least in this video. I'll do the body work as far as putting filler in and sanding when we continue on with all of this other work. But for now, I can put that door aside and keep going with other projects. I'd like to thank you for joining me. If you'd like to see how we got to this point, you can scroll down into the comments, and there's a link to a playlist for all of the videos on this project going back to the day I first brought it home. If you'd like to see progress going forward, you might want to hit that subscribe button, and hopefully my videos will pop up as I release them. Again, thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you next time.